And recently I was able to do 1 rep with 80 kilos, 176 pounds in each hand. The dumbbell press can be one of the best exercises to build your chest and improve your barbell bench press at the same time. But unfortunately, it can be a tricky exercise to do, especially if you want to lift heavy dumbbells. It's been a couple of years since I started to really spam this exercise. I followed 3 key principles that allowed me to significantly improve my strength on this lift. While I'm weighing around 70 kilos, 154 pounds, I can take dumbbells of that exact same weight, so 70 kilo in each hand, and do multiple reps with it. So it's basically 1 me in each hand for multiple reps on the dumbbell press. And in this video, I'll tell you exactly the path that I followed and everything you need to know if you want to maximize your strength on the dumbbell bench press. And also, at the same time, you'll get a monster bench press during this process. So without further ado, this is the tutorial to dumbbell press some monster weights.
Encore. Il y a toujours. Allez.
The first major mistake that's preventing you from improving your dumbbell press is the exercise order. A lot of gym bros will start their chest days with the barbell bench press. It's not necessarily a mistake, and that's actually something that I personally also recommend. If you want to grow, if you want to get stronger on the barbell bench press, it should be the first exercise you're going to do during your chest day. But if whenever you want to hit the dumbbell press, you always have a lot of set that you already performed with the barbell press, chances are every time you're going to do the dumbbells, your body will be cooked.
That is a dead lobster.
And our goal throughout this video is not to just focus on the barbell press, it's to actually focus on the dumbbell press. So that's the reason as to why in my training split, I actually have a training day specifically dedicated to the dumbbell press whenever I'm hitting my chest. So my current bench and chest days look like this. I'm hitting the barbell bench 3 times a week, Monday, Thursday, Saturday, and on Tuesday, that will be the day specifically dedicated to the dumbbell press. Like I said, this allows you to be really fresh and have a lot of energy to give to the dumbbell press, which will be very important in order to grow on this lift. The second major mistake is to perform the dumbbell press only with a hypertrophy rep range, so the classic 8 up to 12 repetitions. And I'll be honest, it's really hard to get really strong only by doing these rep ranges. There's a topic I covered a lot on this channel when talking about how to lift for strength gains, and to put it up simply, you need to lift heavy weights for lower reps. You've probably already seen that online. One of the best rep ranges to train for strength is between 1 up to 5 repetitions. And the reason is pretty straightforward. The more reps you do, the less weight you'll have on the bar, and on the contrary, the less reps you do, the more weight you can then add to the bar. And whenever you're lifting heavier weights for a lower number of reps, that's exactly where the strength adaptations will occur. You'll get a more efficient central nervous system, more efficient neural adaptations, aka technique. You'll also have tendon adaptations, and all of those aspects will allow you to become stronger. So in the exact same way as with the barbell bench, we want to do lower reps, so 1 up to 5 reps in order to build our strength. The exact same thing actually applies to the dumbbell press. You can't expect to become really strong on this lift when you're only performing set of 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 reps. The only caveat to that is that the dumbbells are pretty tricky, especially to set up. It's pretty challenging to lift a lot of weight and set up properly with the dumbbells. That's the reason as to why it's better to do sets of 3 reps up to 6 reps if you want to really target strength with the dumbbells. You can do singles on the dumbbell press, but at some point you'll reach a moment where you're simply unable to lift the dumbbells above you, and even if you're able to do so, it can come at a cost with a higher risk of injury. So really, in my opinion, the best rep range to train for strength with the dumbbells is between 3 and 6 reps. Finally, let's talk about the third and maybe one of the most important aspects to get the full picture, especially with the sample program I'm going to give you later on. The gold standard principle of strength is specificity. In reality, it's actually a key principle to training in general. The idea is to practice the thing you want to become better at. If I wanted to become better at, let's say, football, for example, you want to practice this activity. If you want to become better at sprints, sprinting pretty often will allow you to develop the skills necessary to become better. And the same principle applies here. If you're not hitting the dumbbell press enough on a weekly basis, then you're not optimizing your growth on the lift. I actually have a really good example that can illustrate that. I started to incorporate the dumbbell press in my training split around the end of 2022. Back then, my 1RM on the barbell bench was around 170 kilos or 375 pounds. But actually, I wasn't able to hit one rep with 60 kilos, 130 pounds in each hand on the dumbbell press. In terms of strength, it's much harder to do one rep with 170 kilos on the barbell bench than it is to do just one rep with 60 kilo in each hand on the dumbbells. So there was actually a discrepancy between my real strength on the bench press and how good I was at transferring the strength that I had on the barbell to the dumbbells. Because I failed to do one rep with 60 kilo in each hand, my Saiyan pride took over. I decided to start training the dumbbells once more. Week after week, month after month, I was getting much stronger. And recently, I was able to do one rep with 80 kilos, 176 pounds in each hand. And my 3-rep max on the dumbbells is 72 kilo in each hand for 3 reps. So as you can see, I was able to make actually really good progress on the dumbbells, and that actually started because I was finally serious on my dumbbell press training. I was doing 2 sessions every week. One session was strength oriented, so I was doing a lower number of reps with heavier dumbbells, and then I had a more hybrid day where I would do a bit more volume while still using fairly heavy dumbbells. So now that we covered all of those aspects, let's see together the sample program to blow up your dumbbell press. Session 1 will be our main strength focused training, exactly like I did when I was coming up with my dumbbell press. Here we want to do sets of 3 up to 5 reps. We really want to aim for 2 very challenging sets, pretty close to failure, leaving 1 rep or 2 reps in the tank. Then we want to drop some weight and perform 2 easier sets. For session 2, we'll do the exact same thing that I did when I was coming up. So we'll do a more hybrid session between volume and hypertrophy while keeping a strength aspect to the training. This will allow for better technical efficiency and more hypertrophy on the main muscles of the lift, aka chest, triceps and deltoids. Here we want to perform between 3 and 5 sets depending on the overall weekly volume, especially with the barbell bench that we're already doing. And as for the number of reps, we want to hit between 5 and 8 reps, leaving 2 up to 3 reps in reserve on each set. Ideally, you want to follow this program for 4 up to 6 weeks. Then at the end of this training phase, you want to retry. So if it's 1RM you want to do, you want to retry your 1RM. If you want to do a 3RM, you want to retry your 3RM. And depending on the results that you get, you can then start a deload for 1 week up to 2 weeks. And then you can simply repeat the cycle over and over. Ideally, you want to grow into your block. That's something that I already discussed a lot in this channel. So keep in mind, progressive overload is key. You want to lift heavier dumbbells as the weeks go. And for that to happen, you want to leave a bit of room in the tank at the beginning of your training cycle, and you want to increase the weights accordingly week after week. And yeah, that's pretty much how I trained in order to finally grow my dumbbell press. Even if you're 100% powerlifter, I think you shouldn't underestimate the dumbbell press because, in my opinion, it's really a lift that allowed me to also get stronger on my barbell bench. My max was around 170 when I wasn't able to do 1 rep with 60 kilo in each hand. Like I said, I really spammed the dumbbell press, and then my bench press also blew up to the point where I was able to do 4 or 5, 185 kilos. So really give this dumbbell press a shot, and I'm sure you'll see some good gains, whether it's on this lift, on your chest gains, but also on your barbell bench. That was it for this video, guys. I just want to thank you because we just reached 50K on this channel. That's actually insane. And again, I'm really thankful to all of you guys who took the time to subscribe, to comment, and I'm still counting on you to do so. So if you like this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. So in the previous video, I didn't do my Blackbeard laugh at the end, and I know some of you guys were upset, so I did some progress, and here it is. Yeah, I think that was a good one.